Welcome everyone to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. We got I think we have a good show for you today. What a lot of you don't know is that me and Ed don't always know what we're going to talk about when we get on. And the cool part about our relationship and our conversations is it only takes us a couple minutes before we're like, yeah, okay. And then we're vibing. We know what we want to talk about. We don't want to get into it. Today's no different. We definitely hit on a few things where both of our vibrations went up. And it's not because of the book that Ed suggested we should talk about, which I'm not going to bring up the name. Uh, but we're going to talk today about why implementation, especially when it comes to coaching and why coaching is important to real estate agents, to loan officers, and how the implementation is the most important thing that you can provide as a real estate agent. But before I do, Ed, if it's okay, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Brandon Altieri, Otto Auto Salon up in North Jersey. He sent me this awesome hoodie. My man is kicking butt up there in North Jersey. He was in the mortgage business. I mentored him for a couple of years. He got out of the mortgage business and decided to chase his dream, become a car detailer and open a high-end detailing company. Now he does PPP, which I guess is protective film, PPF. He does ceramic coating, and he washes and details some of the badass cars I've ever seen. So he sent me the hoodie. I told him I'd try it on, and this thing is nice. If you want one, Ed, I can get you one. Anyway,
Dude,
it wasn't a commercial. It was really all about the hoodie.
I do want one, and this is why. It's all part of branding, and it's part of the B5 method. I love that, and yes, I'm the youngest of 7 kids, man. I'll take all the free stuff I can get.
Whoa! I didn't say it was gonna be free.
Well, I'll do an interview with him. I'll Venmo.
There we
whatever.
go. All right, let's get talking about and Brandon's a perfect example of someone who was miserable in the mortgage business, and he had a dream to own his own company. He's entrepreneurial in nature. So here he is. He now owns his own company, and he's still miserable in a lot of ways. But he's miserable doing what he loves to do. In that now he's working on the finer parts of his business, and struggle is always a part of everything that we do. Whether you're a loan officer, a lender, or a coach, struggle is always a part of life, and it's how you respond to struggle. And that's why coaching is so important. I want you to just talk a little bit about. You had shared a story, and I want you to use that if it's okay to jump off. I want you to share a story about someone who was not showing the right attention to a portion of their life and how it impacts so many other things.
Yeah. So the traditional coaching business, the big box coaches, they've got, you go into their CRM or they give you a CRM and there's all this tracking and blah, blah, and all that's part of it. It's part of the ingredients of having a successful business. I get it. It's all good. However, what I have found and I'll tell the story. I'm on a Google Meet with a client who does $1 million in GCI. Amazing human being, just an amazing journey. Which, by the way, his first quarter this year compared to last quarter, he's up 72%. Year after year. I know you're a numbers guy. His business has basically doubled every year in the last 3 years. And there's many reasons for that. He was running late one day, and we're on Google Meet. We start the thing, and he walks out the door, and I hear him say, "All right, bye, honey. See you. I'm going to work." And I went, "Wait, who were you just saying goodbye to?" And he said, "My wife." "Why?" Just like that. I use some, whatever that big boy word is, explicitives or explicit words, whatever. I said, "Dude, turn the F around. That's your wife. Go back to her, kiss her and hug her, give her a compliment and ask her what you can take off her plate today." They have 3 children. And he actually got annoyed. He was like, and I said, "Dude, do it." And I never tell people what to do, unless I notice something that they don't notice. He went back and did it. Now, what does that have to do with real estate sales? Well, it has a lot to do with it. What does it have to do with quality of life? Everything. And and I always like the coaches out there that are just talking about, number one, other coaches that just talk about this, don't stop doing that, because I have no competition. And this is part of the conversation with ATSO or doing business differently, is when you are operating in the blue ocean method, the blue ocean theory,
What's the blue ocean theory?
Yeah, so the blue ocean theory or the blue ocean method, it's a book that was written probably 20 years ago now. It says most people, and especially in the real estate business, they are in a red ocean. And the red ocean represents basically a bloodbath. My rates are better. My service is better. I'm a better listing agent. I'm a better negotiator. Wham, 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 wham. Coaches. My clients are up 35%. And I'm going to teach you the scripts and the skills and the dialogue. And I come in and I go, how much water are you drinking a day? Right? And the traditional clients go, what does that have to do with real estate? You're a real estate coach. I go, first of all, the last thing I am is a real estate coach. That's the easy part. Like, I can teach listing presentations, negotiations. Anybody can teach that stuff, right? You can go to somebody that's been in the business for 40 years and learn the basics. The reason why drinking water is important is because it puts oxygen in your blood. It hydrates you. It helps you sleep better. If you don't have enough oxygen in your blood, if you're not sleeping, you're operating at maybe 60%. So paying attention to the little things, right? Mike Cianci, when he and I were coaching one-on-one, which, by the way, he might be the top producing, because all of these companies now have all these weird categories. They're stupid. Mike is a single agent that has an assistant and a marketing guy. He's the only agent on his team, and he does between like 40 and 70 million, right? No buyer's agents, no nothing. But he and I worked on words. We worked on how he leaned in, leaned out during certain parts of his listing presentation. We talked a lot about Tony Robbins stuff, getting into state, which changes your posture, right? Those are the things through my life, through the Anthony Robbins training, crewing with him for 10 years, the John Maxwell certifications, all of my leadership stuff, and 22 years in the recovery world. It's just something that I'd like to think I've mastered, and it's different. So I operate in a blue ocean while the other coaches operate in a red ocean. And what I aim to do, and by the way, that pulls me. Me getting on a call and talking about how to handle an objection about commission, which, by the way, while we're there, I can teach that stuff. So, Ken, I'm on a listing appointment. Say, is your listing commission negotiable?
Is your listing commission negotiable?
No, I'm sorry, it isn't. Let me show you my photos. I use a high quality photographer. His name is John Smith. He blah, blah, blah. Let me compare agent A to me here, right? That's it. Just no.
No.
It's one word. Or, I'm not sure what you mean by negotiating my commission. My standard is 5%. Or my standard is 2% or 1% or 30%. That's it. My standard is, this is how I work. That's the objection handler.
And that's just one skill set, one aspect of being a great real estate agent that you have to work on. But what's interesting about where agents and loan officers sometimes go wrong, and where coaches go wrong too, is they focus on, if this is something that you just do more of this and you'll continue to get the results. Just do more of this and you'll continue to get the results. Just do more prospecting and you continue to get more results. But that's not necessarily the case. I mean, you will hit ceilings where all of a sudden now just doing more prospecting is not going to get the job done. Getting better sleep will yield more results. Getting better health, from getting more exercise will yield more results. Like you said, having a better relationship with your spouse or your partner yields more results in your business. And if you're just hyper focused on the one thing and you're not working on the whole, you're leaving so much money on the table. And more importantly, you're dealing probably with more frustration, more stress, than you necessarily need to. And whereas if you took a more holistic approach and you started working on the nuances, I'm always a sports guy, and I always go back to, Major League Baseball players. Do you know what a Major League Baseball player and a 5-year-old have in common? They both hit off a tee. These guys are making millions and millions of dollars. And as soon as they go into a slump or they're having issues or something doesn't feel right, their coach says, get on the tee, and they go back to being a 5-year-old working on the basics. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with us. When you're hitting a ceiling, when you're hitting a resistance point, when something doesn't just feel right, going back to basics doesn't just mean like, okay, picking up the phone and cold calling. Going back to basics means everything. Where am I at with my exercise? Where am I at with my hydration? Where am I at with my nutrition? Where am I at with my relationships? And is there something there that I need to address that's holding me back? How, as a coach, do you identify if it's a skill set thing, if it's a mindset thing, or if it's a lifestyle thing?
So this is where I will go into what is your unique, divinely downloaded talent that's in you. And that's, again, where somebody like me, what are you passionate about that you can do every day that pulls you? Right? And we can apply this to anything: fitness, relationships, business. So I'll give you an example. In its heyday, KW Exton was ranked number 8 in the United States out of all real estate offices in the United States. Little Exton, PA. I just happened to be the guy that was in charge of building the production by recruiting agents, coaching our top 20%, blah, blah, blah. I recruited the number 1 agent in Chester County. Humbly, we as a team did it. You know what my first recruiting call to Gary Mercer was? It wasn't a call. I saw him in line at Eckerd Drugs across from Prudential Fox and Roach or Berkshire Hathaway or whatever it is these days. In Eckerd Drugs, he was in a $5,000 suit. I was in my gym clothes. He looked at me. I looked at him. I said, "Hey, Gary, how you doing, man? It's good to see you." He goes, "Hey, Ed, it's good to see you too." My brain, I went, blue ocean. We were like 8th in line. I said, "Hey, does anybody here need to list or sell their house?" 8 people turned around and gave me a dirty look. The cashier leaned forward and said, "I can't believe you just said that. My parents have their house listed and it's not selling." And I went, "Well, lucky for you, you have one of the best agents in the country right next to me. Gary, give me one of your cards." Handed it to the cashier. Gary says to me, "Why did you just do that? You're my competition." I said, "First of all, I'm not. I don't list and sell real estate anymore. And by the way, you're the best at what you do. And Gary, what else can I do that? What's your biggest challenge right now?" We clicked, and I'm going to say 90 days later, he joined. Was not a cold call. Was not a, "Hey, congratulations, you're up 32%. Blah, blah, blah.
It's just a connection.
Now, I'm not saying that's my strategy. Dude, I didn't have a database. I didn't take one note. Ever. I had a whiteboard with a hit list on it.
Same whiteboard you have right now.
Excuse me?
The same whiteboard you have right now.
It's right behind me. It's literally. A lot of our mortgage clients are on there.
And that's your downloaded, your talent, right? Your God-given talent is your ability to recognize and connect with people and not just be in the blue ocean, but know that you're in the blue ocean.
Yeah, something, and I know we talk about this all the time, and is, hey, highly suggest you go to in the Philly area. I have two doctors that I recommend. Go to them and get some blood work done. Make sure that you're not deficient in any vital mineral, hormone, nutrient, right? Because if your body is low in vitamin D, if your blood is low in electrolytes, you're simply not going to have your operating system is not at optimum levels. It's going to be really hard to perform up here. Now, you may perform up here, but it's like taking a Ferrari where you haven't changed the oil filter, the fuel filter, the tires are deflated, and you're just flooring it, man. It's going to break down, and I don't let that happen.
So you just mentioned body, right? And that's just one of the B5. I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to share what the other 4 are.
Yeah. So build your brain. And what that means, that's just like mindset is bullshit. I can say that word on here. There's other words I can't say. Mindset is bullshit. Mind shifting is where it's at. And the way we shift our mind is knowing what releases the good chemicals and stops the bad chemicals from flowing. So that's build your brain, build that muscle. The 4 questions. Yep. How do I want to feel today? Who do I want to be today? What do I want to receive today? What do I want to give today? That's build your brain.
First one. Thank you for the reminder.
Build your brain, build your brain, build your brain. Build your body is, I could give a 3-minute workout to anybody listening here. Minute of jumping jacks, minute of push-ups, minute of air squats, or do 30 seconds of each. That's your workout. Build your body. We can go on from there, but that's it. Next one is build your business. That's where we do the behavioral assessments. I look at where were you successful in your life, and this is my art. This is my art. I can connect the dots and go back to that wrestling match, the gymnastic championship, the spelling bee championship, and go, this is your strength. This is how we're going to build your business. This is the model. Build your brand is all marketing. Video. There you go. There you go. I'm still a fan of CrossFit Explode, and I live 900 miles from it. And then the last is build your bonds. Your intimate relationships. Number 1, with yourself. How's your relationship with yourself? Number 2, your creator. Whoever you believed in created you. Doesn't matter who you believe in it, right? Something created you, whether it's science, God, whatever you believe. And then, of course, your significant other, your spouse, your partner, your kids, your business partners. How are your bonds there? The one reason why you and I are working together is because I trust you, right? That's a big one. I trust you. You're a great human being. Not one person, other than the people that don't believe that you put mayonnaise on hoagies.
I knew you were going to do it. I didn't. I like. He's not gonna go there.
Dude, it's the only thing I got on you.
Building me up right now. There's no way he's gonna bring up the goddamn mayonnaise, and it's not all the time. And once in a while.
Do I need to hop into the 12 steps right now? I used to say that all the time. Honey, it's not all the time. I only drink once a week.
It's all right. So point being, Ed, brain, body, business, brand, and bonds. There's a certain aspect of everything you just said that is beautiful in its simplicity. It's beautiful in the fact that you hear it and you're like, yes, okay, that makes sense. But it doesn't change the fact that yet here we are, knowing what we know, knowing that the knowledge is there, yet we still need someone to help us implement those things and hold that mirror up and show us our blind spots and not allow our bullshit to convince us that we are, okay. And we're allowed to put mayonnaise on a cheesesteak once in a while. And what's cool about what you just did lines up with a part of our very early conversation here, and that is, giving away information freely and cheaply. If you're a loan officer, if you're a real estate agent, give away the knowledge. Give away the knowledge. Holding it to yourself, keeping your customers in the dark, not educating them, and even your potential customers is not serving you. It's not the way the world works anymore. I know plumbers that make a killing because YouTube, every time they fix a hot water heater, they videotape and show how they fix that hot water heater. And look, if I have a little bit of mechanical, ability, I might go on, look at YouTube, and maybe I can fix my hot water heater. But when it gets to the point where I can't, and I actually do need to call somebody, that's the person I'm going to call. It's the same with real estate. Tell them how you do things. Show them how to do it, right? Loan officers, explain, pull the curtain back. When they need you, and they will, you're the one they're going to call to help you implement it. And the same with coaching, right? These are all things we know. But my first coach taught me a very important phrase. To know and to not do is to not know.
There you go.
To know and to not do is to not know. So I think that you hit on some powerful stuff here, and we're coming up on 21 minutes, which is 6 minutes past our window, but we don't even follow the window anymore. I have a book recommendation, Ed, but I'd like you to give your recommendation for the week and your action step for the week.
Yeah. So again, both 2 books, Oversubscribed.
Okay.
Phenomenal book. And I'm still going to stick with 10X is easier than 2X. And okay, I would say the action step is this. If not me, interview a coach that's within the real estate world that can coach you on all aspects of your life to build a superhuman that just happens to have a real estate license. They will all, including me, do the first one for absolutely free. You want to see if there's alignment. Everybody needs a coach, man. I know it's cliche. But as Mike Cianci said, if he were to put a value on his coaching experience with me, it would be a 10-to-1 return on investment.
And that's what it's about. I'm going to go with the book that I'm reading right now, Buy Back Your Time. It's very much in line with the 10X is easier than 2X, but it gets into some really good stuff. Today I read about the time assassins, and maybe this is a topic for another episode. There's 5 things that we all do that self-sabotage as entrepreneurs, salespeople, people who are trying to build. It's pretty cool, man. This is a very, very cool book, especially on the heels of 10X is easier than 2X. So as always, man, I appreciate you helping me building my brain. I appreciate you helping building my body. I appreciate you helping all these people build their business. I appreciate you helping Brandon build his brand. And I appreciate you for the bond.
Yeah, brother. You're not kidding. And I'm going to allow you to continue to put mayo on your hoagies as long as you allow me to put pickles on my cheesesteaks.
Hoagies or cheesesteaks? Hoagies. I put mayonnaise on my hoagies. Did I say cheesesteaks?
No, I said hoagies.
Oh, I said cheesesteaks. I didn't know what I was thinking.
That's all right. I put pickles on my hoagies. It's a thing from Donnelly's Deli in Avalon, New Jersey.
Pickles on your hoagies is not bad. You put pickles on your cheesesteak too?
No, I put pickles on both.
Oh, pickle guy.
I'm a pickle guy. Poor Irish Catholic. What do you expect, man?